Hello Year 9, welcome to your final lesson for the week. Today's is on question 4, still sticking with the friend request extract. And you'll be completing question 4, evaluating, critically analysing and giving your opinion. You'll do now is how many marks is question 4, for how many minutes do you spend on it, how do the keywords link to the question. So the keywords at the top of the slide. Today's big question then is, a student said the narrator is clearly on edge here. She's hiding something from the reader. To what extent do you agree? So you've got clearly on edge and hiding something as your 2 points to focus on. Please remember as well, we're focusing on the friend request extract that you've been working on all week. So question 4, write this in your book, okay, first of all, and annotate the question. So it's focused this part of your answer on the second half of the source from lines 9 to the end. And the narrator is clearly on edge. She's hiding something from the reader are your 2 parts to the question. It is always to what extent do you agree. I did advise, obviously, last week that you agree. Always try and agree, because it's always written so that you agree with the narrator, you do agree with the student that the narrator is clearly on edge and that she is hiding something. So you should be able to find evidence. In your response, you need to include your own impressions of what the narrator's like. Evaluate how the writer presents her as on edge and deceptive, like hiding something. And you need to obviously include quotes and analysis of language and structure in your response. So obviously, how effective is the writer in showing that she's on edge is what you're looking for. Why is it important to look at a certain part of the section? So making sure that you're picking from the right section is important. How effective is the writer in that she's hiding something? So how clearly is that presented? And then picking out as many subject terms as possible and analysing in as much detail as you can the language used by the writer or the structural devices used by the writer using the subject terms, exposition, climax, denouement, simile, metaphor, alliteration, repetition, rhetorical question, whatever it might be. Try and include them as much as possible in your analysis. If you can now complete the table, I'll attach it obviously on Teams. So if you can stick that in your book, if you've got a printer at home as well, that'd be great. Obviously to take a photo of the work that you've done. So you've got to, obviously I've given you all the quotes here. The last one you need to find yourself though. Think about what the subject term is. How does it match the statement that she's hiding something and that she's on edge? How does it make you feel as a reader? Some extra things to consider. I'm obviously adding any info now in red pen because this is now the feedback section of your lesson. So she's hiding from something. Obviously, when it comes to hiding something from the reader, it could be that you include, I can't see her like that, knowing her fate as I do. The narrator is relatively cryptic in her own thoughts, suggesting the truth behind all this is the source of her anxiety and discomfort. Obviously, keep reading. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this is one reason why you could agree. But I let her down at the edge of my consciousness for all of my adult life. She's haunted by the memory of Maria and her fate. But Maria Weston has been dead for more than 25 years. The use of a cliffhanger offers some revelation with regards to the narrator's discomfort. Okay, now standardise your answer. Have a look at what you've written and see if you can match it up to a section. Would you give yourself a level 4? Have you been perceptive? Have you been clear? Have you had some evaluation? Or is it quite simple and you're not really developing anything properly? Sorry. And then finally, your big question, obviously, is your response to the question 4 statement. The narrator is clearly on edge. She's hiding something from the reader. To what extent do you agree? I want to see more than 3 lines, guys. I want to see at least 2 paragraphs. Okay, in response, so you're showing at least 2 agree statements in your response, using some of the sentence starters and vocab on the screen. Okay, so 20 minutes, at least 2 paragraphs, sentence starters and devices. See you next week. Bye bye.